All right, good evening. The time being 7 PM, all members of the planning board being present, I call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from the April 27th, 2026 meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the planning board meeting minutes from April 27th, 2026.
I have a motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Moving on to agenda item B, committee reports, administrative actions. Do any of the members have any committee reports they wish to make at this time?
All set, Mr. Chairman.
All set.
All right, hearing none, we'll move on to town planners report. Slaughter?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Currently, there are no new filings for the June 1st meeting, so any applications continued from this meeting will be heard. If no applications are continued to the June 1st meeting, then the board may consider canceling that meeting if they so wish. And the only other item I wanted to note is the Historical Society annual meeting is going to be held on Saturday, June 6th. Their annual meeting will be held at Tewksbury Public Library at 300 Chandler Street. Topic of discussion is America's 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Town historian Nancy Reen, along with Doug Sears, will present a selection of films showing Tewksbury dating back to the 1930s, featuring Tewksbury Center, the hospital, and former Doucette Field. Light refreshments will be served, and there will be opportunities to purchase a banner commemorating the occasion. And anybody looking for more information about 250th celebrations across the state, I encourage to visit www.revolution250.org. Thank you.
All right. That brings us to agenda item B3, board committee designations. All right, so we have the 3 designations. I did ask if anybody was interested in the Economic Development Committee. I don't know if anybody is.
I'll take it, Mr. Chairman.
Excellent. So we have Mr. Fuchsia for that. And then the members on the Community Preservation and NIMCOG are all set?
I'm all set, yep.
All set.
Stay with that.
All right, then we'll just take them as one big group. We have a motion to approve the members to be appointed to these 3 committees.
So moved.
A motion made, do I have a second? Motion made and second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Excellent. Takes care of that. Moving on to agenda item B4, 910 Andover Street Master Sign Plan Update. You state your name for the record, the floor is yours.
Christina McMahon, I'm with Caveney Architects. And so, yes, we are filing this change to our previously approved signage. We are now ready to submit the actual shop drawings for the signage permit. And since we met last, the cafe sign on the front of the building facing Andover Street, we have gone through 2 different graphic design groups, and they're finally confident that this is the direction they want to go in with their branding. So it's not only the look of the sign that completely changed, but the proportions of the sign slightly changed. So for the actual cafe name sign, we were approved 30 square feet. Previously, it was 50 inches tall by 86 inches wide. So the sign that we're submitting now is a little bit shorter. It's only 4 feet tall, but it's 90 inches wide. And that strictly had to do with the proportions of the logo itself, which is in the exhibits with the letter that we filed. So that's the only change. All other signs are the same as previously submitted.
All right, we'll start with Mr. Duffy.
I have no problem with the change, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Fuchsia?
I don't have any problem with the change either.
Mr. Champa?
All set here, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Visalia?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it looks great, and when do you expect to be open? Any idea?
Mid-June, so
June. Wow,
pretty
so you're
close.
moving along pretty good.
Yeah, that's the current schedule, so.
Good, good. Yeah, I have no problem with it. It looks great, and good luck.
And we feel good, this is a final version now?
We're committing. It's going on the building.
I have no problem then. So we have a motion to approve the minor modification of the sign.
I have a motion to approve the 910 Andover Street Master Signage Plan Update.
All right, I have a motion made, do I have a
Second.
second? Motion made and second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Thank you, good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, moves us to agenda item C, 885 Main Street. Special permit, do I have a motion to waive the public reading?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Do we have anyone here for 885? It's settled, just give your name and your address, name and for the record, and the floor is yours.
Yep, Matthew Finn. Looking to move Paintball Wizard, my retail store, down to 885 Main Street. No changes as far as what we do for business, just a retail, small, low-traffic retail store. We ship product out of there on a daily basis. And I guess I just need to get the special permit because of the size of the location, correct?
Okay. Mr. Fuchsia?
So what kind of trucks do you have coming in and out?
Mostly USPS and UPS trucks. Monthly, maybe a freight truck, but I've already checked with the freight companies. And if that's a problem, they can send in small box trucks the size of a UPS truck to deliver our
Yeah,
orders.
because there isn't a back door.
There is. There's a garage door in that unit.
Oh, there is?
Yes, yes.
And a tractor-trailer truck can fit back there?
I haven't asked, so that's the thing. They can stop at the end, and I can use a pallet jack if I had to move it down there.
Yeah.
But they said the box trucks can fit down there. So I've already confirmed with, I mainly use R&L, but I already confirmed with them that we can pay extra and get a box truck if it's a problem.
Okay.
So nothing plans to go through the front of the store and the parking lot. Everything would go to the side or the back.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Fratelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was by the site today. I know exactly where it is. Did you have any problems with people providing parking for customers?
With my current store or the?
Oh, at this place? Because I thought there was issues with how many spots that you allowed down there.
So they didn't say anything about parking spaces when I talked to the property manager. They didn't say that we were limited on parking spaces.
Okay.
So that I don't know. I mean, I'm a low-traffic store, like I said.
Yeah.
I'm
Looking at the
averaging.
notes here. but-
Yeah, and my plan was to park the employee cars behind the building because there's parking back there.
Yeah, okay.
So,
That'll free up space up front for.
Yes.
Sounds good, I had no problem with the move and look forward to another successful stop. Thank you.
Mr. Duffy?
I feel the same. It's a pretty low-impact retailer, and I just don't see a problem with it. I'm glad that the tenant building owner gets to, fill up another space down there, and I think it's all good, and I hope it works out for you.
thank you.
All right,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Champa?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I guess the only question I was going to have, I see what your traffic counts are, and it's based on historical experience. I would hope you'd see a slight increase in traffic, getting a more visible storefront or street front retail location. But as long as the number of spaces per the table match the retail purpose, as long as that configuration works, then I have no problems with that. So just wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Chair's all set as well. Anyone in the audience with any questions, comments, or concerns on this one? Seeing none, bring it back to the board. What is the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to close the public hearing.
A motion made, do I have a second? Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. As to the special permit, do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to approve the special permit at 885 Main Street, Unit 5, as proposed.
All right, we have a motion made, do I have a second? Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
That brings us to agenda item D, 600 Woburn Street. I have a motion to waive the public reading.
So moved.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Once you get settled, if you give your name for the record, the floor will be yours.
This is the seat you have read the rest.
Maybe give me each two.
Yeah, I think I need the HDMI. Do you have the other?
You pull that off.
Oh, there we go, yeah. Much better. a second. Sorry about that. Shall I begin?
Yes, just give your name for the record.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Gene Sullivan. I'm an engineer. My office is located in Wilmington, Mass. And I'm here tonight on behalf of Pepti Corporation. Alex DiMaggio from Pepti is here as well with me tonight. We're here to, we filed an application for a site plan review and also a special permit for a new standalone building at the property located at 600 Woburn Street. On the screen right now, you can see the existing conditions plan. We were in here during COVID, actually, and did an addition out back, which is this box right here. The Delaware Valley Corporation has been on this property since the 70s. It's a large 10-acre parcel, and they have historically run their manufacturing, distribution operations for their textiles or fabrics out of this building. The building we added on last year, or excuse me, they finished last year, but we added on a couple years back, was to put their corporate offices in there as well. They had a location in Lawrence and they consolidated all to this property. What we're here to talk about tonight is another standalone building out in the rear of the property, which you'll see in this yellow box. It is set up as an industrial building with multi-tenant ability, meaning we don't have tenants in mind yet. We know what kind of companies we're looking for, but we don't have any leases or anything of that nature. Basically, it's a 21,000 square foot building with 30-foot bays, so you could have tenants anywhere from 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, or perhaps even someone would take the whole building. The access for the site is off of Woburn Street, and the access to this building is around the existing buildings. We've created some new loading areas out here and parking to support that building independently. Our proposal meets all zoning criteria in terms of dimensional regulations, coverages, parking requirements, and things of that nature. Other things to be familiar with on our property, there are a couple of wetlands on the southern property line heading towards Billerica that we've had flagged. We have a filing with the Conservation Commission, notice of intent, as well as a land disturbance permit because we're over 1 acre as a result of this project. We were able to put together a design that respects the no disturbs and no build zones as requested by the Conservation Commission, so we are compliant with that as well. I will also point out that on this property, how we've handled a lot of the utilities is to access. There's been an existing easement for this property out through North Billerica Road that's been in place for a long, long time. I've been working on this property for 30-something years on and off, and it's always been there. And we've met with National Grid on site, and the best way to bring in our water, our electrical, and our gas and sewer as well, there's a stub out there, is to go out through the easement, which is in this upper right-hand corner, which you'll see all those utilities on the next page are laid out within that easement. Lastly, we've, to handle our stormwater and make sure we're compliant with the DEP stormwater regulations, we have done two things out there. We've added to an existing pond that we built in the last project to create a little more volume, because in order to provide proper access through here, we actually had to open up this driveway a little bit more in order to get fire trucks, potentially a tractor trailer, although that's not the intent, but I wanted to make sure it could be handled. So we added a little piece of a detention basin here, and for the main building, or the new building, we took the roof runoff and the parking lot for that building and put it in a new pond, which is where my cursor is there. So there's going to be two separate basins. The first one to the left is primarily for the previous building, but just because of the nature of the grading of the land, some of that would receive flow from our expansion. So those are the big highlights. This isn't a property that we would expect much traffic for. We think of it as a building where you could have a small machine shop or a contractor. We understand the limitations in the bylaw in terms of outdoor storage that is prohibited. We're well aware of that. But those are the types of tenants we're looking for at this time. And we also got comments from both planning. We had a peer review done by GCG Associates, which I received on Friday and had a chance to go through, and confident we can resolve those issues. It's part of the process and everywhere we go with these public meetings. That's really what we have here. So I just want to make sure that we talked about the uses. The uses are going to stay consistent with what the existing building is really. There may be a small office component for somebody, but really we think of it as light manufacturing with some storage. So be it a carpentry shop or what have you. But we understand the storage has to be within the building.
Okay. We'll start with Mr. Champ.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Talk to me about the siting of the building. I mean, just not taking into account the slope of the land and whatnot, but generally speaking, the circulation of the vehicles entering, and then it seems like you're making them take the longest possible, most circuitous route. Walk me through your siting as far
Absolutely.
as why we're not just driving like straight
Straight at it.
in, but.
Couple of reasons. One is the most important and significant reason we did it this way is frankly, we think the building acts as a great buffer for our neighbors behind us. We border Park Street, which is all residential neighborhoods. Now this building is going to make sure any truck traffic, be it box trucks or what have you, vehicle traffic's not going to have lights shining out of the property. It's all going to be contained below the building. So we'll have both a visual barrier and a sound barrier by where we place the building. So that was done with intent.
Okay. And trying to remember, was there photometrics done? We had two
Yes.
projects. One, they talked about whether or not there was light spillage.
Yeah, there was one little spot, so we'll adjust that. That's not a problem. It was really, if you look at my plan, it just went over this property line here, so we'll just adjust this pole fixture to be over there.
Okay. So one of the things, only because we had in a butter asked some questions about the square footage and whatnot. So I took a measurement of, if you go back to the slide you just had there.
This one?
So I took a measurement of the existing structure, and then I also took this plan and measured it in Bluebeam, and I was coming up with 92,000 square feet. Now, I don't know if that's because the roof extends a couple of feet on every side or something like that.
existing building?
Existing building.
I don't think we could, with all respect, compare a Bluebeam calculation to a CAD file. This is a surveyed plan that is within square feet.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Has this been, did an
yes.
engineer go out and survey it and measure it and all of that?
This is based on as-built and absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right, because basically, I mean, the difference is only 1%, but it's 1% over versus being 1% under, and
We understand.
that may become a very important 1% at some point, so.
I get it.
So I just wanted to ask where your dimensions came
Yes,
from.
it's based on an on-the-ground survey.
Okay. Where we have the two buildings, and I think this was in the bylaw, the newer version of the bylaw, as far as they want, and I think we ran into a similar thing on Shawshene Street, as far as when you have multiple buildings, even though the intent isn't really for people to walk from one building to another, but they still want safe pedestrian access, crosswalks, ramps, things like that.
We can provide it. I noted that in a comment, I think it was from planning, right? We could provide connectivity up in here. It really isn't the intent. And again, we can provide it. But it doesn't get them out to the street or anywhere either, right? It really just gets them to the front door of a business, which we don't intend them to have any cross communications. This is not intended to be used for Delaware Valley's operation.
Okay, well, so I don't see it on your list of waivers, but
Okay.
the next iteration, I
Sure.
guess.
Yep, yep.
And again, we ran into the same issue, didn't make sense, buildings had totally separate uses and whatnot. Are there going to be mechanical rooftop units on
No.
top of the warehouse?
No. These buildings if they were to have any air conditioning, would have split systems, so like a condenser outside your home kind of thing.
Okay. And only because I was asked to, I don't see any provisions for a bike rack.
Okay.
So we'd like to see one of those added.
Yep.
All right, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Mr. Fuchsia?
I don't have anything right now, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Duffy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So on your application, and I may have misread that, but I mean, it was calling for 144 parking spaces. Was that for both buildings
It's
combined?
for the site. I'm showing compliance for the site overall.
Got it. Okay.
It is one lot at the end of the day. And frankly, we believe the parking we've shown for this building is much more than we anticipate needing.
Sure. Yeah, no, I get that. And so it looks like according to your plan that, you're kind of setting it up for, to potentially divide it up into maybe 7 units, kind
We
of?
hope not.
You have seven overhead
Yeah,
doors?
it's 7 at 3 is the base, right? We're hoping it's 2 6s and a 9 or whatever it is,
Yeah,
But yes.
okay. And just out of curiosity, on your existing building there, is that solar panels I see on the roof of that?
There are solar
Are they
panels.
working?
There've been solar panels on the warehouse.
We have 2 arrays, one is working, one we're waiting for National Grid to
Right.
put in the net meter in the next couple of weeks.
So that the former building, which is the long, narrow one, has them. The newer building, they're completing the installs.
The newer building, you're going to put, the new building?
Not this one, the one that, this gray one here,
Yeah,
that was the most recent one that they finished
okay.
probably about a year ago, I guess. So that's the one they're finishing up the solar on.
Okay, and then there was some issue, I see there's a lot of stockade fence over there that's in need of an upgrade. What's the game plan there?
The maintenance of it, you're saying, we could put that as a condition of our approval that we maintain that better. I'll put that in my own M.
So you plan on leaving the stockade fence here, is that the
We
idea?
do, yeah, and
Yeah.
we're actually putting a new one along the rear of, what we're developing, because again, it's to keep, we actually have an earthen berm there and a fence on top of it, and the reason is to keep any lights or anything from shining off our, from our parking lots towards the backyards of a neighbor.
Well, it seems like your building has pretty much all down lights that I saw there anyways, that.
Right.
But so that yellow line, is that a property line there?
This one right here,
Like, where is the fence going to go, I guess?
the fence goes right here.
Yeah.
That line here is like my limit of work, my
Yeah.
silk fence during construction.
So are you pretty much going to surround that new building with the fencing, I guess?
We're going to put a fence, we're going to pick up a piece of the fence that goes down here, we're going to stop it and remove it, and then we're going to come and turn 90 degrees and go alongside, parallel to the back of the building to provide a screen there. So that way if there's any
I didn't
vehicles.
really
coming
see a berm there. I did see fence. Now, the fence is, are you looking for a waiver on the fence? Did I see that in there?
I have to check the height of the existing fence, whether it's 6 or 8.
Yeah, I didn't get out and measure it, but it looked like it was taller than me, and I'm about 6 feet.
Yeah, I think it is 8. So we would have to get, and again, we're doing it to be good neighbors as much as
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, actually. Yeah, because you can kind of see the building if you drive down Park.
Yeah. And one of the other reasons we orientated or cited it this way was to keep it no closer, really, than the other building, right? If we were to turn it 90 degrees in order to meet, there's a property line jog here, a building would have pushed up the site towards a residential neighborhood more. So we thought it was important to keep it down.
I see some old Merapi fence up there. Is there any wetlands in there, or was there wetlands in the past?
Which part of the property?
Right in the back, like right in the back of your existing parking lot there.
Down here? Down in the
In
bottom?
back of the existing building?
Okay,
Yeah, right around where the hand is, right in there.
okay.
I saw, it looks like it's been there a long time. Maybe-
It probably was just construction, limits that wasn't
I was
removed.
just curious what the rest of the site looked like.
Yeah, no, we've obviously evaluated all the wetlands out here. Previously, we had approval from this isolated wetland. It actually isn't jurisdictional wetland, but when we did the previous edition, we did meet the setbacks. But then we also, this time around, we redelineated a newer wetland that's a real big one.
All right, and it's just going to be a one-story building there?
Correct.
The garage.
Yeah.
What was the height on that? I didn't see a height.
The height's not super high, it's probably 24 feet high,
Okay.
you know, just enough to get, so somebody want to bring their truck in, they have, you know, drive-in doors, but it's not going to be, you know, any higher than that, you know.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have for now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of questions. I know you don't have fire department approval yet, correct?
We don't. He had asked the questions. I'll go down and meet with him, and we'll work through it.
Okay. They have the regulations as far as
Yep.
turning and all that stuff, so.
Yep.
We'll need that eventually
Absolutely.
coming forward. I did see, speaking of the fence, I did see some fence panels on the ground. Is that going back up? I mean, that's beneficial for the neighbors.
Yeah, we'll get that back up.
Okay. They've been down for a long time, or since?
Yeah, it's the engineer. I can make sure they,
I can answer that. That was winter damage over trees falling over the winter. So they were damaged. We're just waiting to put them back up.
Okay, all right, good. Sure, so there's a lot of debris back there from probably the previous job site. You're going to be removing all that stuff?
yes.
Yeah, okay. There's old,
A lot of leftover panel or this, that, and the other.
some metal back there, and it's abutting the wetlands right there as well. So, I mean, the sooner you get that out of there, probably the better for everybody involved.
Okay.
You know, to get that out of there and moved so that you're not causing any problems. So 21,000 square feet?
Yes.
Is that the size of the building?
That's correct.
Okay, and your height is going to be how high?
24 feet?
Okay. Putting in any green arborvitae's in the back at all besides the fence, or?
We didn't propose to do that, but we can consider that.
I'm just thinking of the neighbors in the back that are going to have to look at the building and that wasn't there before, that you're proposing, you know, for their benefit and for the blockage and all that, so they're not seeing a blank concrete panel building behind them. If you had some arborvitae's that will eventually grow up and you know, it'll be there, but, you know, maybe, you know, not be as curseful as a blank wall, whatever.
Understood.
So, I know you have a lot of outstanding issues with the peer review people that you'll probably be working on and so forth, so,
Absolutely.
you know, we'll wait till next meeting, see how we do, but I'll set Mr. Chairman for now.
All right. One quick question. The newer building,
Yes.
and who did you say has that?
I'm sorry,
Who's using that?
this is all one big building that's on the site now. It's all by Delaware Valley.
Now, are they prohibited from getting a space in the new building for any reason?
No. It's just not, this is more of a investment or,
Okay, so there is the possibility that the person who's using the front building might want to get to the back building. So when he asks you about having crosswalks from getting one to the other, there is the possibility that
Yeah,
that might be necessary,
I
right?
can certainly accommodate it. That's not a problem.
I guess for me, one of the things I'm going to want to see, I want to see a rendering coming from the neighbors looking at the back of the building. All right? I'd like to see it with the fence that's supposed to be there and how they're going to see the back of the building, because that's going to matter to me, because that's what they're going to be staring at. And if there's some reason that I need, whether it's trees or something done to the back of the building just to make it more presentable or whatever, to make sure that they're not necessarily just staring at a big blank wall. The other comment's going to be, that has to be kept up. Like, it can't get into disrepair because it's the back of the building and the people who use it don't care because it's the back of the building, because it's not the back of the building to the people staring at it, all right? So, and I need to see that, you know, what that's going to look like and what they're seeing, okay?
So with that, just so I can clarify, make sure I show you what you're looking for, are you expecting it from the street or from like their back property line?
I think probably from their back property line. I mean, if you think you can do one from the street, from in
think it'll
front of
show
them,
much.
shooting through houses, I'm not sure that'll work. I mean, if you can find a space and give me a good look,
Yep.
that's fine.
Okay.
But I'm thinking
No,
something
I
in their
think property line makes
backyard-ish.
sense. I just wanted to make sure that's
Just
what.
get yourself as far back as you think you can get
Yep.
to see what they're kind of looking at.
There's a shed right here on this corner property line. I think that's the right place to take a photo from, and I can
Yeah, I mean, just, something reasonable, that is a real rendition of
What's accurate.
what we're looking at, so, all right?
Understood?
I mean, the more you can produce, the less I have, or any of us are going to say, that's not quite what we're looking for, go back and do it again. So that's up to you, all right? Otherwise, same as the other, we'll wait till some of these other things hash out with, the other departments to figure out where we really are, because there's not a lot of point in getting in too deep with those. If you're not going to have a problem with it, or you are, we don't really know that yet until you guys start talking.
Right.
So we won't get too deep in that right now. With that, I'll open it up to the audience. Anyone in the audience with any questions, comments, or concerns at this time?
Hi, my name is Peter Chase. I live at 19 Park Ave. I'm one of the abutters there. My home is probably not my property. My property isn't the closest to this building, but my home is. And this would be a disaster, an absolute disaster in our neighborhood, to have that right up. You would have to stand in my yard, see where they've staked out, and I invite you to do so. Please come over to see where this is. Nobody here would want to live with that in their, right in their backyard. I can't even imagine what that would do to home values. And their track record is terrible as far as maintaining their fences. They couldn't build a fence high enough to stop the view of that because our homes sit up high. And by the way, the notice we got in the mail said, unless I'm mistaken, it said 2.5-story, 37 feet high, not 24. So unless they've changed it, that's the notice we got. It was 2.5 stories, 35 feet high, not 24. So, and they couldn't build a fence or a berm high enough so that we wouldn't see that building. It would be incredibly intrusive. And I hope that, part of the reason we have a board like this is so residents aren't victimized by something like this. Particularly since this is, I've just learned, not even a part of their core business. All they're trying to do is bring in additional revenue. This isn't even necessary for their business. Any kind of loading dock activity, diesel truck exhaust. Our son has special needs. He struggles with almost everything. He's got global delay, but one of the things is oxygen, his oxygen level. And any kind of thing that would be right in our backyard that might increase the air pollution, which this inevitably would. They don't even know what kind of businesses are going in there. They're talking machine shops. I don't know what kind of emissions, what kind of diesel, what kind of power they might use for fork trucks, whether it's propane or natural gas. What they might be, particulates might be going up in the air, right in our backyard. It's just intolerable. It's the idea that this would even be considered is so outrageous. You'd have to come to my yard to see this and meet my son. We can't have this. I beg you not to allow this, particularly since it's not even necessary for their business. And they have just a bad track record of maintaining their own property. They have stuff laying around outside all the time. People out there spray painting and doing all kinds of stuff outside that they're not supposed to be doing, all kinds of storage outside. They don't follow the laws. The fence, that wasn't winter damage, that was damage long before that. That's a lie. And the other thing I wanted to ask about was, if you look at the West Business District, the Neighborhood Business District, it says in 108 of the bylaws, industrial warehouse, light industrial warehouse, no, not permitted. Not permitted. A light industrial warehouse in our zone, which his company and our homes are in completely. It says on page 108 of our new bylaws that were approved in fall of last year, it clearly says light industrial warehouse, no, not allowed. For a whole host of reasons, this is an abomination, and I invite anybody to come to our yard and look at this, meet my son, see what kind of an impact this would have on us. This is why we have a panel like you people to stop this kind of thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
One quick moment, Mr. Chairman. The drawings submitted to us show 24 feet of height. So that's the dimension height in the package.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was in the notice. But that's what we have here for plans, so that's what we're going with. So, you're up, sir.
I'd love to bring that, what I got in the mail. I didn't bring it. It says 2.5 stories, 35 feet high. I can find it at home.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have an issue with it if it were the other way around, if the public notice listed a smaller building and they came in with a bigger building, but we're going in reverse. So this is smaller than what was advertised.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm on 29.
I just need your name and your address, please.
Ricardo Xavier, I'm on 29 Park Ave, so I got that little corner that comes down. I guess my first question is there a setback where there needs to be a distance from my property line and the building that's being built, that's supposedly trying to get built there? I'm not really sure if there is a
Yes.
kind of.
Yes.
Okay, what is that setback?
That's 20 feet.
20 feet. Is that 20 feet
Are
from
you
the
talking
building?
about up here, say?
Yeah, my corner that comes down all the way to the tip.
Yeah. It's actually more than
So
20.
if you go to the left from where you were, all the way to the tip there,
Yeah, this?
go right to the middle back there. So my property line is there at the very tip. So I just want to confirm that is in fact 20 feet.
It is.
But besides that, I think I'm just going to piggyback off of what Mr. Peter said. I think this would be an absolute abomination, and it's just for obvious personal interest. We have a family that live there. Looking at the back, there's trees, there's animals that live there, there's owls that live there. I think it would be terrible for the environment, and it would be absolutely terrible for the neighborhood that we live in. So with that, I'll conclude, and I'll be in opposition. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else with any questions, comments, or concerns?
Meredith Chase, 19 Park Ave. I just want to confirm that that fence that was referenced earlier has been in disrepair for several years, so it was not recent damage from this winter. There may be more damage that occurred, but that fence has not been functional or serving its purpose for several years at this point. So, and finding out that this additional building will be used to rent out for other tenants, for other businesses, are they actually going to be supervised in the absence of the leasing company, or will they be just sort of permitted to do whatever they want as long as nobody sees it, right? Is there actually something in place to make sure that the people who are renting out these spaces are actually going to be held accountable for what they're supposed to be doing?
As far as the use goes, your bylaw is very specific as to who's allowed to be in this building and who isn't as far as a tenant goes. The building inspector has to make that interpretation that any particular company is compliant with that. We don't know who they are as of today, so I can't give you a better answer than we
But
did.
if I'm understanding the resident's question, what they're saying is anybody on site going to be checking in to make sure that the tenants are meeting the requirements to the leases that they hold with you for those spaces, not waiting around for a complaint to be made and then someone from the town to show up to try and deal with it? That's the question.
Yeah.
The same way, if
Any other
you rented a unit in a house and somebody's blaring music out, the windows, yeah, you're going to get a noise complaint, but one would expect, the owner to respond as well. I think if I'm not misunderstanding your question, that's what she's asking.
We can certainly put a condition of approval that there's somebody that's appointed to do that on the property. That's what we do for other types of facilities like this.
Okay, thank you.
What would be the plans for any kind of video or audio surveillance for this property, considering that it is so close to residential areas? Is this people going to have to start policing themselves in their own backyard?
Are you asking if they're going to put cameras in the
Yes.
building? Okay.
Sorry.
I got lost on that one a little bit, I'm sorry.
I mean, honestly, it's a little early for me to tell you exactly what it is, but I would expect that we would have cameras. Most every building we put up does for multiple reasons, right?
I can tell you, we already have a quote for the existing building to put in exterior surveillance cameras.
Mr. Chairman?
Right, but if I'm hearing the resident's question, their concern is being on camera. Is that right? As opposed
Yes,
to
how
whether or
can
not
we
you're
ensure that
monitoring the
these
safety of your
cameras-
site. Their concern is the cameras catching them. So that I think is what, so the question is, they're concerned about making sure that the cameras, while you may be, monitoring your site, that those are in no way, much like the light spilling off your, in the photometric, that the cameras are not spilling off and catching beyond the borders of your property.
Currently, we have no cameras.
Mr. Chairman, perhaps the gentleman can introduce himself and we can get him on the record.
Absolutely.
Just if we have more residents, it'll just save us from.
How you guys doing? Alex DiMaggio with Pepti Corp.
So I think just to have it come in on the microphone. So as of right now, you don't have cameras. But I think what we're trying to get at is in the event that you're installing cameras, that it would be, one of the requirements would be that those cameras are only monitoring your site and that they in no way are monitoring anything that would be beyond your site for any reason, under any circumstance.
The only point to have surveillance would be to monitor our property.
But the residents' concern is that that isn't what was happening.
we
And I'm
understand.
making sure that we've said it so that that's
Sure,
taken care of.
absolutely. And we can put it in there that none of the cameras will impede upon any, even close to their property lines. Where primary focus is the building and the parking lot.
Okay, my concern was that it was mentioned earlier that it would have to be just a minimum of only 20 feet away from the abutting residential properties, and most cameras do have the capacity to see that far. So even if the camera is fixed to the building and it's intended to monitor the building, that it may haphazardly or incidentally monitor someone's property, and that was my
Well,
concern.
the 20-foot setback is going to come to where the fence is. There's another distance from that fence to where the building is. So you're talking about a little bit more space than what you're referencing.
Okay.
And then
And we
whatever
would-
the space there is between there and whenever yours starts, whatever you're fencing or whatever.
There's no reason for us to have cameras on the back of this building in any way. So that wouldn't
Okay,
be,
so different point, but okay, yes, okay. So there you go.
so the only camera we would have would be on these two sides, facing the parking lot and that. And these cameras today have all kinds of limitations as to what views they can have and everything else.
And I just
So-
want to, continue, sorry. I just wanted to add, like the last resident spoke about, that this would have such a negative impact on the quality of life and the home value of these hardworking people that have done nothing to deserve this kind of thing being imposed upon them. They have, like it was mentioned, we have wildlife, we have birds, we have animals, and instead these residents are going to be forced to smell even more diesel fumes in their homes and be looking at fences and concrete walls and listen to fork trucks and box trucks all day instead of the home that they built for themselves after all these years of work. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else with any? All right. So I've let it go to this point because this is the first meeting for everybody, but we don't do that when we have these meetings. So that was your last one. If we have more meetings in the future, everybody's free to come up and speak and all that, but we're not going to do the clapping and the outbursts afterwards, all right? So that was the last one, okay? Anyone else with any questions, comments, or concerns?
Luis Penzo, 19 Park Ave. I just wanted to say and reiterate from what everybody else was saying that this seems like it's completely unfair to everybody who lives in this neighborhood. This seems like it's just for business. Like, people worked very hard to get to where they were. I'm a son of immigrants, and my family worked very hard to get me to the point of where I am now, and to have to deal with this just seems completely unfair. Like, I don't think that anybody deserves this, especially when it's something that they don't need and that we don't want. And I just think that things could be better for the residents of this neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone. Well done. All right. Anyone else with any questions, comments, or concerns?
All right, good evening, Heather Chase, 19 Park Ave. I'm just going to echo everything that's been said before, not only as the eyesore, the visual monstrosity that will be this extension to our property. Like we already said, everyone in that neighborhood has worked so hard to build up what they have now, and this comes crashing down on that. But it's also a matter of health issues, obviously, for the wildlife that you frankly don't see much in the town of Tewksbury. You see in those woodlands, 100-year-old oaks, these giant trees that will never grow back until my grandkids have kids, if then. But it's also, again, like we've mentioned before, a health risk on the people that live there right now. I mean, my own brother, my dad's already spoken about that. It would be detrimental. It'd be a risk every single day. And again, just the people that live there now, the older community, that I think it's a matter of not only, convenience or visuals, it's a matter of health and safety and daily function.
Thank you. Anyone else? Question? Briefly.
So I mentioned earlier that our bylaws say that you can't build a warehouse in this district. How are we even getting by that?
So it's designated as warehouse distribution, not under this. That's how it's being submitted.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Ms. Louder?
It's being designated as what?
So the application that the property owner made is for a warehouse distribution center, which is an allowed use by special permit in the West Side Neighborhood Business District.
Special permits? Does that mean
Correct.
you had to,
That's why it's
you
here.
have an option to either issue that special permit or not issue it?
Correct.
And you did issue it?
No, it's not issued. This is what the
That's what this
application
is.
is.
Oh,
That's what this
What
is.
we're determining.
okay. And I just really hope that you take my son's condition into talk about something that we don't even know what kind of is going to emit from this building. We don't know. His oxygen level is already borderline some days. We don't know what kind of fumes are going to come out of there right in our own backyard. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Questions, comments, or concerns?
I am Sarah Silva on 39 Park Ave. My concern is for the wetlands because it's already trashed as it is. I'm not blaming them. I don't know. I mean, I think we're all responsible, but it's just ridiculous, and I think it's going to get worse. That is my biggest concern, the nature. It's our responsibility to take care of it, and I think all of us are just doing a sucky job at it. And I think building that is just going to make it so much worse for our environment.
Thank you.
And I inherited my property from my husband. He passed away. His name was Christopher Donahue. And I know for a fact he would be against this. My property has the porch, so we can oversee everything, we're above and everything, we could just see everything just down below, and agreed with everyone was saying about it just being a monstrosity. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Questions, comments, or concerns? All right, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board.
Another question, Mr. Chairman, if I could. So there's no doors back there? There's no windows back there, correct?
We don't intend to have windows. We would like to get natural light in, but it's.
Any ventilation? Can you plan it so that it's not going anywhere near the residential? Because that's
Correct.
one of my big concerns, is that you come in and choose upon the residential people that live there. If you can avoid putting anything like that there and whatever, that'd be good for me.
We can keep windows off that rear wall.
Okay.
All right.
And what kind of building is it going to be?
What's it going to be made out of?
Yeah, made.
Are you familiar with the insulated metal panels? They're like a sandwich panel. It's a steel skin with a 3-inch rigid insulation in it.
So steel building.
Steel building. It will have some masonry at the bottom as well,
Okay,
just for durability.
thank you. Awesome, Mr. Chairman.
I had a couple questions. Would you expect that any trucks would be idling, waiting to enter a bay or anything like that?
We wouldn't expect that. This isn't a shipping terminal.
So it's warehouse distribution, right? So I just want to ask and maybe get a sense of your ideal tenant. What is their day in, day out type of activity?
I would offer, if you don't mind, that we've come in a situation on many properties that I permit for developers that we don't have a tenant, that we'd have to come back and demonstrate that that tenant's appropriate for this building and this use. It usually gives the board some level of comfort that we're not going to come in here with somebody that's creating odors or noises that you didn't expect to have there.
Okay, I mean, I'd be concerned if it was going to be, paint storage or chemicals or something like that.
They don't want paint storage and chemicals out there either.
No, understood. I think in that, maybe that one thing you and the neighbors would be aligned. And then it seems like, we've talked a little bit about arborvitaes, things like that. I have to get out to the site myself. I was hoping to get there earlier today. But to see how severe that elevation is, but I guess we'll probably get a pretty good look at that when you do the rendering.
We're also happy to meet any of the board members to, show you where the corners of the building are and see it in the real world too, if that was something that you guys do or would think would be helpful. Or we can have it so that you can find it at your own leisure.
I was there today, and reviewed it, took some pictures of the property and so forth. So is this shed that's there going to stay?
That shed's not ours? Are you referring to this one out here in the woods?
No, the shed that's over here near all the debris that's there.
Oh,
No, that is on its last legs. If this building gets approved, either way, that shed needs to go. That shed will be gone.
Okay, and that stuff will be gone too, all the material that's there too,
But yeah,
right?
that's the leftover just from the remaining building that we did last year, the year before that.
Okay, good, also, thank you for
And if I may say one more thing, my father, who passed away last year, he's been in front of the board before. He was on the Atkinson Town Planning Board for 45 years, I believe. He went above and beyond for the neighbors. He understands. You know what I mean? We're not here to intrude upon anybody. Like, we understand what it is. And we're willing to do whatever it takes to make them happy. I know they're not always going to be happy and pleased with everything, but we'll go out of our way to make sure that we do our best, because that's what my father would have wanted.
Yep.
All right, with that, I'll take a motion to continue this till 7 PM on June 1st.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
What's your next meeting after that, if you don't mind?
June 15th. You want to do
I
that?
really think we've got a lot of things to get done in the meantime, and
Is 7 okay for that? So we'll do 7 PM for our June 15th meeting.
yeah, I'd rather get all my peer review stuff ironed out and come back.
So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made, motion seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, we'll see you on the 15th.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Okay. You guys hear that, residents, the 15th? Okay.
That'll bring us to agenda item E, 1325 Main Street. This is continued from our last meeting. Sorry.
All yours.
All right, once everyone's settled, give your names to the record. The floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Mira Cousins with Civil Design Consultants.
Kylie Kelter with Civil Design Consultants.
And Jim Hanley, Civil Design Consultants.
Floor is yours.
All right, so we're here for a special permit and site plan review for the proposed redevelopment project located at 1325 Main Street. So we were last here at the last meeting on April 27th, where we had just a handful of remaining technical comments from TEC's peer review letter. Since then, we submitted a response letter and revised plans addressing all remaining comments, and TEC has since issued a clean review letter. There was also discussion at the last meeting regarding proximity of the proposed driveway to the neighboring driveway at 1319 Main Street, and whether additional traffic measures could be added to improve driver awareness when exiting the site. So we discussed this with our traffic engineer, and we revised the plans to include an additional sign mounted below the stop sign that reads "Caution, active driveway," with the left arrow, along with added double white pavement striping at the driveway exit. So based on our left turn sight lines, the cars leaving the site will be visible to the neighboring driveway. In addition to that, the overgrown vegetation on our property will be cleared, which will further improve visibility. We did take a look at the potential rumble strip, which I believe was discussed at the last meeting, but ultimately we felt like it would create more of a nuisance to the abutter for a noise standpoint. So between the additional signage, the pavement markings, sight lines, and clearing of vegetation, we believe these improvements should help address the concern. So at this point, we believe we've addressed all outstanding comments from the board, staff, and peer review, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Just before I forget, on the vegetation one, the clearing, so do you have any issue if we add in this, that the vegetation, that area will continue to be maintained without overgrowth or anything to maintain that sight line, just to keep it covered?
Correct.
So we got it, so it doesn't get overgrown somewhere down the line or whatever? Okay. All right, then with that, we'll start with Mr. Fuchsia.
I don't have anything right now, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Duffy.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I know that our last meeting, we had talked about possibly talking with the neighbor on the corner, Mrs. Carroll, was it? About possibly doing a driveway for her. Has there been any progress in that, or any conversations on that? Because that really helps resolve that issue right there.
So the answer is not yet.
Yeah, Arnie Martell, proponent. No, as discussed with Ms. Carroll last time, I am more than willing to, meet with them, sit down, see if there's some way of me to help. I mean, it's not going to be an open checkbook to let her do whatever she wants, but
Sure, no,
I am more than willing. I think my track record of being a good neighbor at my other subdivisions, not that it counts for this one, but I feel we've always worked well with our neighbors, and this is something I feel I'd be willing to work with her on that as well.
Okay, because I mean, that sort of just like wipes out the issue with the two driveways next to each other there, you know what I mean?
No, and I completely agree. It's not just the driveway. The issue is, if I could just go there tomorrow, strip out an area and pave her a driveway, no problem. But next thing you know, we need to do permits.
Yeah.
Stormwater. It just turns into a lot more than just going. If it was as simple as me saying, yeah, you have to go do a 20 by 20 pad for her, I'll have it done tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit, the process is more than just run out there and throw some pavement down.
Okay.
But I am more than willing to work with her on it.
That seems to be the only fly in the ointment from my perspective anyways, is the entrance and exit, just like they all are on Main Street. And I just hope that that's something that we can work through and that we can get an answer from you. You know what I mean? That I'll get some sort of a resolution on, or at least a progress report.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
More than willing to update when we get to that point.
All set?
Yeah, I'll set, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Mr. Fattaia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Duffy, regarding the driveway, you mentioned, like you said, he's willing to do whatever he can, and I hope that doesn't stop the process as far as us approving it, because if he's willing to do it, then that's great, He has a civil design consultant right next to
I
him.
would certainly accept everybody's word on it, that you're going to come back to us with that you're going to make an effort to do whatever you need to do with Mrs. Carroll there to resolve that issue and get it off everybody's plate, and that you'd be willing to come back and give us an update on it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the challenges of just saying, yeah, we'll do it, is that before you do a survey and you do a design, you don't know, you don't know all the moving pieces to it, so we're a bit tentative to
I
do
know,
that.
but it doesn't seem like a rocket science either, you know what I mean?
So many things don't, right? And then all of a sudden, 3 months later,
I
we're
wish it
looking
was that
bad.
easy.
So that's all we're trying to do, is just to make sure that.
Let's just try to get some movement on that, you know what I mean, so that it doesn't, so that it doesn't die on the vine there. That's all. That's all I would ask.
Yeah, I mean, we still have to go through our approvals with you guys, conservation, and we still have to get DOT. So, I mean, we still have a few more steps before we're even able to break ground. So there is a few more things that we have to get through, but like I said, I'm more than willing to work with her. I told her that, and I meant it, so.
It just makes a good project better.
I completely agree.
So.
Completely agree.
Good neighbors are great. So, Mr. Cousins, you mentioned that everything has been resolved since our last meeting. We had conditions last meeting, that all those conditions have been approved. Is that correct? I mean, resolved, correct? With TEC?
TEC's review letter, there was a couple of their comments they deferred to the board.
Okay, so, with that, Mr. Chairman, I'm all set.
Mr. Champlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I guess one of the things I would want as a condition is that if for some reason, because I'm not sure, it sounds like, and I don't think the decision was made, for any ill intent or any, nefarious intent, but, the choice not to do the rumble strip in an effort to not have a noise issue for the neighbor. Without her here to weigh in on whether or not she would prefer not to have the rumble strip, I guess all I would want to say is, as a condition, if we were to bring you back and ask you to install it, that you would do so. If she has some kind of a close call, because again, like you said, it could be a year before there's a driveway situation resolved. So I'd be concerned that in the interim, right, traffic coming in and out, someone really sweeps out of there fast because, someone sees a rare opening of being able to get out and get across 38 and kind of one-shot it without having to wait for anybody. But as she's either trying to pull in or pull out and ends up being a close call there or worse, so.
I think if this is approved, we get to that point and there are ever design issues, we try to rectify those, right? So if that happens to be the issue that comes up 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 10 years after the fact, we're going to try to address that. Rumble strips look good on paper from my perspective, but sometimes they're challenging. Sometimes what I've seen in my career is that they end up collecting water, and then that water ends up freezing, thawing, cracking, all that kind of stuff. So between that and the feedback that we got from our traffic engineer on it, that it wasn't necessarily warranted and may not achieve the goal. Plus the fact that we have DOT that we have to work through as well, and DOT is going to have some say about how that apron is configured. Between all of those pieces, that was the decision. That's how the decision kind of got made. But like I said, I think that if there was an issue with the design, then obviously that's something we'd want to rectify. And if a rumble strip was the answer, that's what we'd do.
Okay. So I guess, getting back to, I guess just for my own edification, getting back to what would constitute help if Ms. Carroll were to ask for help with the driveway. Would that be, she takes the reins, but maybe you kind of help her understand the process, keep her moving through the steps? She handles the permits and all of that, maybe buys the materials, you provide some labor. Right, so.
I'm just a little leery, because this is not going to be something we're going to put in the permit. So I'm a little leery of trying to have conditions or sound like conditions for this, because if we can't approve this with the driveway the way it is and as is, I don't think we're in a position to insist on, especially because the discussion was if the neighbor wants to do it, it's going to require them to foot the bill for all that other work before an installation was done, which is the only thing I think the proponent is willing to really do. If we keep talking about this in light of the actual permit itself, if we can't work with the driveway the way it is and what they've presented, then we have an issue. But if this is how it is going to be, the side conversations about a possible driveway going off another street, they're not going to be part of this permit. So we can't make that kind of condition in here like that. And I think if we keep talking about it, that it's going to jumble up the record. So that's my only concern. I know we talked about it once, but we have to keep it to what we're actually doing here and what's going to actually find its way into the permit. If there's an issue with the driveway, then we can talk about that. But we're not going to make that driveway a condition of this, because we're not in a position to insist that they do anything, because they have no idea whether they're even going to do anything, because the neighbor may or may not even want to move forward at the cost that it may cost to do the work. So, and she's not even here. So, and that's another party that we'd be forcing into an agreement that she's not part of, because she's not part of this hearing. So I'm just leery that we can do that. So we really shouldn't put too much of that on the record as part of the decision-making for the permit. Okay? Just because it's not going to work that way. We can't do it.
So point being is that driveway should not affect, the promise of that driveway should not affect our favorability viewing of the.
Only because I don't think we have the ability to insist that it be done or be sure that it can be done as part of this. So if the driveway as is not sufficient, then that's a different issue, and we can, if that's what you feel, then that's one thing. But this other driveway that's still a thought process and a possibility somewhere down the road that requires a person not part of this to be involved, and we don't have that confirmation, no side agreements, nothing like that at this time. I don't see how we can do that within this. That's all.
Understood.
The site was also previously approved with the pretty much identical location of the entrance and exit with a higher car count without a word about the driveway next door.
They're gone and we're here, so.
No, I understand that. I'm just, I get that. I'm just saying, you know, we talked about extra signage, which we had our traffic engineer tell us what works the best, what they see. I mean, that's what we hired them for. So double white stripe, extra signage. So hopefully everybody takes a second look. And I guess my word of yes, I'm willing to help her. I'm willing to work with her and try to rectify something on the other side of her house. You know, I guess besides that, there's not much else I can guarantee. I wouldn't want this to be part of the permit, no.
No, and I'm not looking for any guarantees, so I guess basically it's probably just not the best thing that it was entered into our dialogue for this, because it can't be considered as part of our permit process, but I'm satisfied, Mr. Chairman, I have nothing else.
In a perfect world, I'd go and pave the thing tomorrow. There's just more steps to it, you know?
Okay. So I'm fine with the white stripe, the signage. I'll echo, though, Mr. Chairman, that if in some time in the future that becomes something that seems like a good idea, we may come back and we're going to put it in there so that we can come back and revisit the rumble strip thing if it becomes something. But, you know, we can go with this version for now, and then, but we're going to put it in there that can be revisited so that we don't have to, like, say we didn't say it. That would, you know, if we want it, then we'll have that conversation. Otherwise, I don't have anything. You know, you've solved the issues with TEC, with the exception of whatever we have to rule on, but as far as the rest of it is taken care of, I'll ask if anybody in the audience has anything to say. There is no one in the audience, therefore I don't expect any comments. I'll bring it back to the board. Board have anything
I just
further?
have one more quick question. I'm just looking, is that stop bar, is that like a physical bar that you're talking about putting in that's going to go up or down? It's a proposed.
Stop bar is what they call the paint on the striping.
The striping, not a physical bar.
Yeah.
It's just a pavement marking.
Striping on the ground.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's better than a bar, for sure. That bar.
So, Mr. Chairman, also, you have to get approved by Mass DOT, because they're going to come in and give their 2 cents into the matter.
Correct.
They may say yay or nay for the rumble strip, and whatever they want is what we have to abide by for the most part. So, I mean, that's
So, and
another.
I think we put it in there, but if we don't for any reason, I want the language put in that the stop line and the dividing line would be kept maintained and kept, you know, clear and visible. If it starts to fade, it needs to be redone, not after we have to say it's not right, you know, I want it kept up. So, because that, obviously, those two things are very important for that exit right now, and they need to be kept so they're visible year-round. All right. Anyone else, any other questions, comments? All right, what is the pleasure of the board?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, just to put language to a bit of the discussion that happened towards the end there, would it be appropriate to put, if conflicts arise between the driveway of the project and the residential driveway, the applicant shall engage with the abutter and/or the board to reach a reasonable resolution? If that's
Yeah, I mean,
belaboring
is
the point, then
that
that's fine.
pertaining to the rumble strip?
No, that's to the discussion surrounding the residential driveway, because we certainly can't compel
Right.
the resident.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's just kind of in there at that point, but it's not demanding that anything happens. So, okay, that's fine.
You guys okay with that?
Could you repeat it one
Sure.
more time?
If conflicts arise between the project driveway and the adjacent to residential driveway, the applicant shall engage, you know, in good faith with the abutter and the board to reach a resolution.
Yeah, that's fine.
The only thing is, I'm a little clear, what is conflict, though?
If there are reported turning conflicts with the neighbor or what, and again, this was just trying to put language to what the discussion was. If you don't want it in there, that's fine. I just thought.
I'm just confused, I'm just unclear on what conflict means, because I think, to me, it's going to be, if this is like a safety concern, and we're getting that comment coming back from, say, like, you know, public safety, then yeah, I want to revisit that if that's a problem. But I just don't want to get into a thing with, because I don't even know if this is the same resident that's going to be there.
Sure.
Whoever the next resident is might be a lunatic.
Sure.
I'm just saying, and they just, they just decide they're just going to be like, I don't like it, and I'm going to keep having a fit, and then all of a sudden, we're in a
Then it
three-person
doesn't need to be
conversation.
included, that's fine.
All right, yeah, I don't.
I could give them a 20
Yeah, I'd rather not.
driveway, and then the next person, hey, I want 30 feet. and
Yeah, I don't,
turn it
yeah, I'm
down.
just
That's fine.
leery,
Just
just because that's a
make an
very
offer.
undefined thing, and I feel like it opens up a can of worms. I mean, I think we keep enough ways for us to go back on, out and talk about these projects if we think something's not quite working right. So I think those should be sufficient. All right, other than that, you guys have gone through the list of the waivers as we have you in the conditions Ms. Lauder had listed?
Yes,
No issues?
no issues.
Okay. Ms. Lauder, is there anything missing that you can think of right now? All right, so what is the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we close the public hearing.
I have a motion made. Do I have a second? Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, then we'll start with the waivers. We have 4 waivers, section 6.1.8.c, 6.1.10.b, 6.1.14, and 6.2.10.h. The waivers are listed. Do we have a motion on the waivers?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the waivers as discussed tonight.
Second.
We have a motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
just had one question that I missed. I just saw it in my notes. Are you going to be doing a phased turnover of the 2 residential buildings with 1 affordable unit in each?
Yes. Yeah, there'd be 1 affordable in each.
So we just want to make sure it's permitted that way, that you don't have to wait till the whole site's done to do one.
Right, because we had that once
CFO.
before, right?
That's how it's laid out in section 8.3.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, all right, so now as to the special permit, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we...
I'm sorry, site plan review special permit, do them together.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the site plan review and special permit at 1325 Main Street as proposed with the waivers.
And with the notes that we've made this evening.
Yeah.
And the ones listed here in Ms. Lauder's letter.
Yep.
All right, so we have that. Motion made. Motion made second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That brings us to correspondence, which we had none of this evening. That brings us to other business not known at the time of the posting of the agenda. Does anybody have any such thing? Seeing none. With
Just the
that,
open house, Mr. Chairman, coming up.
oh, yeah, we have the open house for the DPW that was noted, okay?
May 20th.
All right, with that, I will take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, motion carries. We'll see you next time. Thanks.